Qualified, professional, and compassionate doctors talking real solutions to real health problems.
It's another episode of the DocTalk show, and in this episode we'll be taking you through a discussion on a subject which is very, very important because it poses as a medical emergency. It can occur to you or to anyone you know at your homes or in your offices. It is a very, very important subject. My name is Dr. Darius Sawache. I'm a physician. With me are the panelists of ENT doctors. ENT is a field of medicine that deals with ear, nose, and throat, and the topic we'll be talking about is a foreign body. So, Dr. Etima, Angelica, and Dr. Kasule Umar, you're most welcome to the talk show. So, today we're talking about foreign bodies in the ENT, particularly in the nose and in the throat. Maybe if you could tell us exactly what it means to have a foreign body.
Thank you, Dr. Darius. So, a foreign body is an object or a substance from outside the body that is found lodged or stuck, to put it in simple terms, within the body. So it's something that we encounter frequently in our practice as ENT doctors. So today we'll put emphasis on the nose and the throat. And you could ask yourself, why is this important really? Why foreign bodies?
Yeah, you would ask yourself, why is it an important issue? Why would someone even run to sit down and listen to you while you talk about foreign bodies? Okay, like we've said, there are several of them, and where they lodge is where we get the importance. Okay, so if it is the nose, it means that it is blocking the airway from its start, because the airway starts from the nose and all the way to the lungs. Okay, that's the full length of it, as we'll discuss it at length when we do the model. Okay,
so talking about the airway, could you elaborate more on what comprises the airway so that our viewers can understand?
To be in simple terms, you have the nose. It's a complete section. It has two portions, or what you'd call nostrils, and they are full length from the front to the behind. Then from there you connect to what we call the nasopharynx. Now that is the part that connects from the behind of the nose into the throat. Okay. Then from there you go to a portion called the hypopharynx. Now that connects from the behind of the nose, okay, where the nasopharynx ends, to the larynx or the voice box. Okay.
The voice box. That is where
that's the other airway. Okay? Now you're in an open space. Okay. Then from the larynx, which is the voice box, you go all the way to the lungs, the true lungs, where they are, where exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide occurs. Okay. Now that part is called the tree. It's a tree. It has the trachea and the bronchus and the several small tubes that take the air all the way to where the exchanges take place.
Okay, so Dr. Etima, he has elaborated the description of the airway from the nose. Is there any connection with the mouth?
Yes, so the part he talked about the nasopharynx. So the medical term for what would say the mouth or the throat is the pharynx. So the pharynx or the throat starts from the back of the nose, okay, connects to the back of what you would call the mouth, which is the part behind the tongue, okay, and then it goes down to the part that now joins to the throat. But why would we talk about foreign bodies? It's something that is very common, especially among children, and it presents as, it can be very dramatic in presentation, because
why is it dramatic?
Because the airway or the passage of air is a very sensitive system, and if anything that's not supposed to be there is found within that area, it will cause irritation because it's the body's defense mechanism to try and eliminate this thing from inside the body. So I would give you a simple example of if you're eating and then you choke on, say, rice, you will start to cough so much, and this is what we are going to be discussing later. It's something that can cause death up to 90%. There's a risk of up to 90% of death occurring in airway emergencies. So it's a very important topic for us to discuss.
Okay, so the statistic you've given us, about 90% deaths occurring due to obstruction of the
It's
airway.
a risk, 90% risk
There
of
is a
death
risk.
occurring.
The 90% is depending on which particular area that
Of
foreign
the-
body
yes.
has gone. So in the worst case scenario, when a foreign body goes all the way to the lungs, the small tubes that connect to the very last end of the lungs, if it gets to that point, the fatality rate increases.
Up to
It goes
90%.
up to 90%.
So
That's
it's-
practically much of what she's trying to say.
So it's something that would need early recognition and also immediate intervention with this associated fatality rate or risk of death. Yes.
So what you're saying is a foreign body can either lodge within the nose,
Or further
within the
down.
mouth, or deeper into the throat,
Yes.
or down into the airways.
So,
Yes.
so we've talked about when it is within the airway, okay? Because now you introduced, we're looking at both the nose and the throat. Now, in a case where it is in the air, rather in the digestive tract or where we swallow from, okay? It also has other events, okay? That the worst case scenario would also still be death, all right? Worst case scenario. And it may follow things like dehydration, where because you're not swallowing, you're not eating, you're not doing any of those things, you can't get in enough. And if you're a child, the rate at which dehydration sets in is amazing. It can happen overnight because of a foreign body in your mouth, okay? And if it gets worse, then you can lose your life.
Okay, so talking about the foreign body in
Yes.
the ENT. Okay, I use the word ENT to mean the nose and the throat. Are there any complications that are likely to arise?
Yes, there are complications. Still, like Dr. Umar said, depending on where these foreign bodies are located, if it's within the nose, there is a risk of it going down, further down in the airway, into the breathing system, and that increases the risk of fatality or death. There is a risk of injury to the areas where these foreign bodies are located, right from the nose down to the throat. In the throat, we have two systems, the food system and then the breathing system. So these injuries can happen in either of these systems. And like Dr. Umar said, eventually, especially when it's in the breathing system, this can result in death.
So some of those complications, we said for every foreign body in a given part. So if it's in the nose, and it can happen that at the time of inception, when they are putting in the foreign body, it can cause trauma to a given part. Or at the time of removal, when either someone attempts at home or
even
at
in the hospital,
you can create
Can sustain further injury.
if a foreign body overstays, what would happen sometimes? That's part of the complication.
Yes.
Sometimes we see foreign bodies ending up in the mediastinum, or what you call the middle of the chest. Okay, they have left the tube where food is swallowed from, and they've gone into
a different
area. Okay, or they've opened up into the lungs, into the true tissue of the lung. Okay, and then you have to cut the chest from outside, and you have to remove the things.
And this is something that can occur in a number of people, but mainly you find that children are at risk of these foreign bodies. Why? Because they tend to explore, they're inquisitive. So they tend to explore the nose. They are in an oral phase, what we call an oral phase. So almost everything that they get, they want to put into the mouth.
They need to test
And they need to test exactly. Yes, they may accidentally. The elderly are also at risk of having these foreign bodies because, the elderly and children almost fall within the same
They are
group.
basically on the either
On the
end of the
extremes,
limits, okay?
exactly.
So in the elderly, you would expect loss of sensation in so many of the areas, or reduced sensation,
Yes.
because of the how old the nerves are, how old the systems of response do
Yeah.
act. Okay.
And
now, so in the end, they feel they lose sensation to certain things, especially when they are playing with them. If they are playing with nodes, if they are playing with maze or things of that nature.
So you're saying that in the children it's more like they are inquisitive, so maybe accidental. But in
Yes.
the elderly it's because the defense mechanisms
Are reduced. That is. So thank you very much. We'll be back after the commercial break to talk further about foreign bodies in the airways.
You are watching the DocTalk Show.